Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me for Practical EdTech Live. This is episode number 6, where I answer all of your questions that have been sent to me and the questions that you have for me right now. I will answer either live on the YouTube stream or live on the Facebook stream. You can put your questions in either place, and I'll answer them there. I also, as I said, I also have a list of a handful of questions that have been sent to me during the week that I'll answer right now, and we'll get started here. As always, if you're new and just joining us, if you're on the Facebook and you want to put the Facebook, if you're on Facebook and you want to put your questions in, you can just write them in. If you're on YouTube, especially if you're on YouTube mobile, make sure that you look for the little question and answer icon that's down in the bottom of the screen if you're streaming this on your phone. All right, so question number 1, and I'm just taking these in the order that they came into me. A colleague asked about curriculum mapping software suggesting Atlas, but that is very pricey. Do you know of, or could you recommend anything free or inexpensive? Even an app would be good. So the first thing that came to mind when I read this question was Mastery Connect. Now, this person who emailed me didn't give me any other context in terms of what age or what grade levels they're trying to develop curriculum for. So I'm kind of taking a stab at this. The first thing that came to mind was Mastery Connect, in large part because of the analytics that you can get through Mastery Connect when you conduct assessments and other activities. A couple of others that came to mind that I have tried out. Common Curriculum. Common Curriculum is doesn't focus nearly as much on the analytics that a tool like Mastery Connect does, but is completely free to try out in your classroom or with a group of teachers. So you might try Common Curriculum. And the last one being MobyMax. Now, MobyMax is designed specifically for K-8. Doesn't really do much with students above the middle school level. So those are 3 options you might try that have some curriculum mapping applications that you can use. So the next question to pop in here was about Dropit to me. Thanks to Tony Vincent, by the way. Tony Vincent alerted me to Dropit to me closing down with a tweet earlier this week, and I wrote a quick blog post about it, and I got a bunch of emails that all went along the lines of, do you have any alternatives that you can recommend? Yes. So a couple of things have come up. I had a great email conversation with Eli Shaheen, who is a teacher librarian or school librarian in Pennsylvania, if I recall correctly. We had a nice dialogue back and forth. Eli had suggested just using a shared Google Drive folder, which then raised the issue of how many email notifications and desktop notifications do you want if everyone's sharing in the same Google Drive folder to collect files. So that led Eli down a path to find a script that I ended up sharing in a blog post on Wednesday, I believe. I believe it was Wednesday. It might have been Tuesday. Wednesday or Tuesday, a script you can run through Google Drive that will let people upload files to your Google Drive folder without having to actually share the folder with that person. So they don't see the whole contents of the folder. They just get to upload. The other thing you might want to try is Dropbox. In Dropbox, there is an option to request a file from someone else. The shortcoming of that being that you are in the free plan, you will probably run out of storage space eventually. So those are a couple of options. I'm looking and exploring more options, but those are the first 2 that come to mind for using Dropit to me. Now, if you're just trying to collect files from people within your school, you do have a third option, and that would be to use Google Forms with the file upload option, but that's only available if you're using G Suite for Education, and everyone in the school is also using G Suite for Education, and you wouldn't be able to collect any files from people outside of your domain if you use the Google Forms file upload option. So that is a third option, although it's not the best option. All right. So that while we're on the Google topic, I get a lot of Google questions. Probably because I write about, probably because I talk about it a lot, right? Talk about it a lot, you get a lot of questions about it. I guess I don't understand the big deal about Google Classroom. Can you explain why I would want to use that instead of just posting things on my Google site like I've been doing for years? Yeah, so the big deal, if you will, about Google Classroom is that if you are a Google, I keep saying Google Apps for Education, G Suite for Education school, it really streamlines the process for distributing assignments and files to your students and keeping track of the assignments that your students have completed all in one central interface. So you're not tracking things down through a whole series of emails or a series of randomly shared Google Drive folders like you were in the past. That's kind of the big deal about Google Classroom. There's also a gradebook, although the gradebook is not the best gradebook. There's better gradebook programs out there. But there's also the gradebook in there. But really, Google Classroom streamlines that sharing process and that collecting process. So that's why I would lean towards that as opposed to Google Sites, because Google Sites is really just you distributing, but Google Sites doesn't really have a great way for you to collect things or organize things that you're getting back from your kids. So yeah, you can still post your things on Google Sites by all means. If you have a Google site that's chock full of resources for your students, by all means, don't shut down your Google site, but you might want to augment it with the use of Google Classroom. All right. So question number 4, again, is kind of a Google question. Don't worry, there are some non-Google questions coming, but anyway, and if you have a non-Google question, you can always put it in the chat here in YouTube Live or on Facebook Live. This summer, I am changing school districts. I have a ton of stuff in my current Google Apps account that I want to move to my new district. Other than just sharing it with myself, can you think of a better way to move things? This is common question. I seem to get this question every spring. So yes, you could share the files with yourself to your new account, provided you have some overlap, provided your old school doesn't shut off access to your account before your new school gives you access to your new account. So you might want to bundle up all those files that you want into one folder and then download that folder from your Google Drive, and then put it in a personal Google Drive account associated with your Gmail, or download it all and even put it on a flash drive. I can't believe I'm saying a flash drive, if you can find one. But yeah, I would definitely download the stuff that you really want and keep it in a folder that that only you control, on your Gmail account or in your Google Drive associated with your Gmail. And that way you're not sharing tons and tons of individual files. So you've got it all bundled into one folder. The other thing you can do is there is a service out there called Mult Cloud, MULT Cloud. Mult Cloud is designed for making it easy to transfer files between multiple cloud accounts. And so Mult Cloud would let you, if you're able to get access to both of your accounts at the same time, will let you simply drag and drop across. And Mult Cloud will also work for doing things like moving files from Google Drive to, say, Dropbox or Box.com into Google Drive, or vice versa. There's a bunch of cloud services that you can connect through Mult Cloud, and you can drag and drop your files through all of those services. So I would definitely check out Mult Cloud if you're in the position where you're going to be moving school districts and you're not quite sure where all your stuff is going to go yet. Check that out for moving stuff around. All right. Can you do a post? So next question on the list. Can you do a post comparing digital portfolio tools? I'm trying to find the best one. I'd like to pick something that I can use for a few years. So now, digital portfolio can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. It could be something as simple as all your kids are putting all their files into a Google Drive folder, or all your students are blogging, and that's your digital portfolio. Sylvia Tolosano recently wrote a blog post called the Blog Folio, which is really that idea of using the blog as a portfolio. But I assume that this person is really looking for more of a full-fledged portfolio tool. So there's three that come to mind, and I am working on this is a question that just came this morning, so I'm working on the blog post right now, comparing three services that jump out to me when I'm asked about digital portfolios. The first one is Seesaw. I love Seesaw. Seesaw was founded by some former Googlers, including the guy who was in charge of Google Calendar for quite a while. Really like Seesaw. Seesaw will integrate with Google Drive. You don't have to use it with Google Drive, but it is an option. So Seesaw, it works on every platform. One of the things I love best about Seesaw is that students can take a picture of their work and then draw on top of that picture. So if they've done some physical work, they did something in their science class and they did an experiment, they can take a picture of what they made in science class or their art class or whatever, and then write some annotations around that image to explain it better. So that's one option. I also like Class Dojo's Student Stories. Student Stories is a part of all the Class Dojo suite, I guess, for lack of a better term. I like that tool, and I also like Fresh Grade. So those are the three that come to mind for me when I'm thinking of a digital portfolio tool, and I'm working on a post comparing the features of all three of those services. So look for that maybe this evening or tomorrow morning, probably tomorrow morning. And the last question that was sent to me in advance: do you know if there is a way to add audio to Google Slides? The answer is yes, there is, and I'll give you the short version of it, and I'll add a link in Facebook to the beauty of doing this live. My dogs made an appearance. They started barking. So yes, do you know if there is a way to add audio to Google Slides? The answer is yes, and here's the short version of how to do it. So go on YouTube and find the audio that you want to use. Hopefully it's Creative Commons licensed audio, and take that video and insert it into your slide. Shrink it down as small as possible. Set it to autoplay when the slide loads, and then you have music playing in the background. Now, when you shrink it down as small as possible, once you've set it to autoplay, you can also drag an image on top of it so that it doesn't even look like there's a video player happening on the slide. So that's how you can add audio to Google Slides. As I said, I have a video about how to do that, and I'll link that up in the Practical EdTech Facebook page in the comments down below. Someone just asked a question on YouTube about Mahara, and I am not familiar with Mahara, so that's something I'm going to have to try. I have to check that out. Hey, Rebecca, thanks for joining on the Practical EdTech. Yeah, is there a way to have the YouTube video play throughout the presentation and not just on one slide? Is what Karen just asked in the live session in the YouTube live. So, kind of. The answer to that is kind of. And here's how you would do it. You would have to create a screencast of all of your slides with audio in the background. Now, so you can do this with something like Screencast-O-Matic or Screencastify if you're on a Chromebook. You'd have to actually scroll through the slides, and so you'd have to practice. Your kids would have to practice their timing so that the slides are playing at the same pace at which they're talking. So it's going to take some practice. I saw a woman at the BET conference a couple of years ago in London do this, and she had it down really well because everyone was wondering how she had done it. And all it was, is while it looked like it was Google Slides, it was really a video of her Google Slides with some audio playing in the background. So that's an option. The other thing you could do, if the slideshow is really not something that kids are going to present, but really just show, you could use YouTube's audio slideshow tool, which you can find in the YouTube editor. So that's another option you could go with there too. All right. Oh, and hey George, thanks for joining the Facebook stream. All right. So let me take a look at the chat there. So Karen, it's not an elegant solution, but it is it is a solution, kind of. Hopefully, one of these days, Google will add more options for music. We'll see. I'm hopeful. All right. So, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat right now, either on the Facebook or on the YouTube session, either place. And if not, you can always send me an email, richardbyrne@freetech4teachers.com. Free, the number. Oh, there we go. I'm not using Wirecast to stream to both right now. I played around. I played around with that. Didn't really need it to do that. You could. What I'm doing is streaming. I'm actually streaming on my phone. Here's my setup. My setup is very simple, and my setup is very simple mostly because I'm in between offices or home offices right now. Sold my house in February and not moving into my new house until July, so I'm kind of in between. So I'm streaming on my phone on one, and I have my laptop going on the other. So that's why I'm just trying to simplify my life as much as possible. If I spin my phone around, you'll all see that I've got a row of boxes over here and a dog on the floor over here. Keyboarding site for little kids, for elementary school kids. I'm guessing, Karen, grades 3 to 6 or ages 3 to 6. Either way, typing club is one that I've used in the past. Okay, grades 3 to 6. Yep. Typing club is one that I've used quite a bit. Guy who runs it is a gentleman named Armin, really nice guy. I like what he does. ABC also has some free typing games and typing programs. You can check it out on abc.com. Ben says his son loves. Sorry, I missed it, Ben. NitroType. Yep. So cool suggestion from Ben there. Yeah, I've tested that one as well. So, and of course the Tux type. I'm probably butchering that. With the little penguin guy, has been around forever. Starfall has been around for a long time too. But I really like typing club or ABC as stuff. So check that out. Thanks for being here again, Ben. Christina on the Facebook just mentioned that she loves typing club. She likes that you can teach students goal setting through the program as well. You can set program goals for your kids going through. So thank you to everyone who's joined in and weighed in. I'm actually teaching a class in 10 minutes, so I've got to run. But thanks for joining me. I'll do it again next Thursday. As always, send me an email if you have any questions, or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat or Google Plus, wherever. I'm around. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.